Hello, everyone. Welcome. We will just let colleagues join us. Welcome to UN 2.0 Week 2025, wherever you're calling in from around the world. We're really delighted that you could join us today for this Innovation Expo. Welcome, everybody. If you're just joining us, great that you can be here. Thank you for taking the time. We will get started in just a moment. Welcome, everyone just joining the room. The room is filling up, our virtual space is filling up with lots of colleagues from across the world and our partners. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to UN 2.0 Week 2025. My name is Ruth Blackshaw, and I'm with the UN Innovation Network, and I'm happy to be your host today for this Innovation Expo. It's the first Solutions Expo of UN 2.0 Week 2025. We have one of these every day, and really excited to kick off the week in style. So welcome to those of you who joined us for the high-level panel before us. To test if our reactions feature is working, give us a thumbs up if you were there. If you have, I'm seeing lots of thumbs, fantastic. Maybe there was an insight, a takeaway that you took from that conversation that you want to share with this group, especially for those who weren't able to be there. Please do open up the chat and share it now. We'd love to hear that. So yeah, wonderful to have so many of you here. We have thousands of colleagues joining today, and partners joining us live on Zoom and LinkedIn. And thanks for taking the time. As I mentioned, this is the first Expo of the week, and we'll be showcasing innovative solutions from 8 colleagues across the UN and beyond. It's an opportunity for us to share a learning moment together, to discover new solutions. Colleagues we might not know yet have been working on, hopefully form also some new collaborations. So the way that this session will run is we'll have 2 segments. I'll introduce our first 4 speakers, and then we'll hear 3-minute pitches for each of them about solutions that they've been working on. Please do add your questions in the Q&A, as we'll have a moment to answer those before moving to our next 4 speakers. So a few words about, well, before we dive in, let's get to know each other first. So if we move on to the next slide, we can see a couple of questions that we have for you. So one is to share with us in the chat your name, where you're calling in from, and your organization, and one word. What does innovation mean to you in one word? So just open up the chat. Would love to see some answers coming in on that. Oh, we've lost the slides. Maybe if possible to bring back the slides would be wonderful. Okay, I'm seeing openness, I'm seeing improvement, better outcomes, creativity, attitude, change. Fantastic. I'm seeing a headache. That's true as well. Changes. Thanks everybody for sharing what it means to you, new solutions. So on the note of new solutions, that's certainly what we'll be doing today. If we continue into the next slide, we'll see indeed we can't solve 21st century problems with 20th century tools. This is the words from the UN Secretary General, making the case and the need for a UN 2.0, a modern updated UN system ready for the 21st century. Here we are in UN 2.0 week. As we'll see in the next slide, we have 5 areas in the quintet. We have data, digital, innovation, foresight, behavioral science, all underpinned by the culture that we need to enable all of those things. And this week we will be showcasing and getting inspiration and building community around all of these areas. So I'll now introduce for the expo itself. We're delighted to have 8, as I mentioned, wonderful presenters here. I will just introduce the first 4 to kick us off, and I will introduce the following 4 after our short interaction with all of you in the audience. So we have Umaima Raimi, who is Innovation Manager and Lead of Youth, Gender and Emerging Portfolios at the UNICEF Office of Innovation, and she will be presenting FunDoo. We have Rahma Bejawi, who's at UNFPA in Tunisia. She's a program officer in the Gender-Based Violence Unit. She'll be presenting on on Netopoly. And we have Peter Schurler, Information Manager over at WHO Health Emergencies in Cairo, and he will be presenting the All Hazard Information Management Toolkit. And last but not least, for this segment, we have Kieran Carolyn, who's Program Manager over at the International Civil Aviation Organization, and he will be sharing with us the effective international secure documents for all. So I'd love to pass the floor to you, Umaima, to take us off with FunDoo. Over to you.
Thank you, Ruth. So yes, I'm Innovation Manager at UNICEF Office of Innovation. Next slide, please. And I would like to present you FunDoo. But first, I wanted to ask the audience, like, did you know that by 2030, 825 million young people worldwide would not leave school with the skills they need to thrive in life? So there's a premise here to say that you know that the solution to this problem cannot be 100% digital. We know that as well. We know that if we are presenting young people with a solution, it has to be a solution that has real application in a real world with actions that young people can take so that they can thrive in life. But I do want you to feel optimistic about this because UNICEF has invested a lot of resources and a lot of our expertise in finding this solution that is called FunDoo, and that brings something that is really tailored to what young people need to really thrive in life and get the skills that they need. So just a simple ask whether you are a company looking to invest in the next generation of your workforce, whether you're a government looking to invest in the well-being of your citizens and in their health, or whether you are a youth-led organization looking to reach more young people with the language and a tool that they like and they want to use, please reach out to us. And hopefully at the end of the 3-minute presentation, you'll get a gist of what FunDoo can do. Next slide, please. So what is FunDoo? FunDoo is a digital life coach that comes from us understanding what young people need and letting them tell us what is it that they really need. So they told us that they want access to real world skills to move from learning to earning. So they want to be able to generate an income in their communities, in their countries, and they want the skills that are actionable and that could help them really achieve that goal. But also, so that's what they tell us, right? But there's also another layer of information from this analysis and relationship that we've built with young people all over the world that says that they need reliable and verified information. They need to gain self-confidence in what they can do to solve problems and to be able to make informed decisions for their future. So that's, you see the difference between what they say they need, but what we also, from working with them, we see that they need. And FunDoo is this digital life course that like it's a coach that will accompany them and give them those skills and then have this connection to what they need and what is good for them in terms of equipping them with the skills to thrive. Next slide, please. So the benefits of using FunDoo are multiple. The first one is that it's really a solution that is accessible. You don't need to download the app. All the connectivity aspects of digital solution can be avoided by the fact that you can access FunDoo on multiple platforms, including WhatsApp, including SMS. It is successful. We have reached 1.7 million users so far, low cost and scalable in 17 countries, and we have 15 countries wanting to join in 2025. It is gamified and adaptable. Employability, immunization, climate action, and mental health. Next slide, please. So please contact us. We have a QR code here. Contact my team if you have any question about how to use FunDoo to empower young people to thrive. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Umaima. If there was an applause button, you'd be getting it right now. And thank you for being on time. I'm happy to now pass to Rahma over at UNFPA on Netopoly. Over to you, Rahma. Next slide. Okay, I think we will skip Rahma, come back. I think she might not be in the room, so we'll look into that on the back end. And Peter, you're on the spot, so over to you on the All Hazard Information Toolkit, Peter at WHO.
Thank you. I'm jumping in for the opportunity. Imagine if the UN could respond to epidemic outbreaks in days, in hours and not weeks. Imagine if the UN could respond in hours and not weeks. That is what we're doing with our All Hazard Information Management Toolkit. My name is Peter Schuller. I'm at Cairo, WHO office here in Cairo, the regional office. Health emergencies, they hit us from time to time, also disasters, and we will have to deal with them. WHO is here to support member states to deal with these disasters in the best possible way. WHO has a lot of knowledge on how to do this and in a structured and good way. The problem is that this knowledge has to be adapted to the local context and the current situation in the country, and this takes time. Currently, it takes us about 2 weeks to adapt our knowledge framework to an emergency, and that is too long. And that is what we're addressing with the toolkit. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. And this is how we do it. So we take WHO knowledge and break it out into related data that we store in a related database. And this data we can then use to feed into AI solution to generate text. If you see to the right of the picture, there is a template. There is 6 boxes in this template where purposeful data is to be put in. And we can code it so that this data can be generated and put in automatically using both the global knowledge from the WHO and the local knowledge that is needed for the local context. This can be generated on the fly. Each box can be generated about 15 seconds, so this document can be made in 2 minutes. Of course, this is AI data, generated data, so it needs to be protected by, tested by an emergency expert, and that will take some time. We give them 2 days, so the whole thing will be available in 2 days. We just launched this toolkit that was a little too fast. We just launched the toolkit last month, so we're now collecting data on it, but we think it's a very innovative approach where we really can speed up response times by using data and AI. And we hope that's something other UN agencies or situations can use as well. For now, we have generated, for showing, about 5,000 documents. We have 83 hazards in the region and 22 countries, so we can cover more. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes, so just to tell up, so the AIM toolkit is tailored solutions for generating decision-making documents for health emergencies to reduce human suffering by responding faster. The AIM project continues to innovate. We have just launched the first version, but we continue with the other phases. We want to make it global, not just for the region, and so that others can benefit from this approach. We also want to, as I said before, share the approach. I think it's innovative and new, and there are other UN contexts where we have a lot of data and we need to respond fast. We can do that faster by structuring the data into
Thank you.
into data and then using AI. Finally, I just want to say this is a project led by the Emerald team in Cairo, but it's supported by the Berlin Hub, the WHO, and NORCAP. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And great to hear this. And I know we're just going to do a quick change on the slide share. So in that moment, happy to say thank you for that, Peter, and over to Kieran at ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, who will be sharing with us their solution on international secure documents for all. Over to you, Kieran.
Thank you very much, Ruth. So I'm responsible for a program at ICAO called the PKD, and it's helping authorities to verify travel documents and thereby enhance cross-border mobility across the world. And remember, cross-border mobility is vital for sustainable development. You'll see mentioned on the slide in line with SDGs 8 and 9, amongst other things. So it's something very important, but it's not necessarily easy. On the right of this slide, you'll see a structure called a master list. So it's a type of data that's needed to verify documents across borders. But you can see it's not really intuitive to use. If you can look at that and understand it immediately, you're better than me, let's say. And I think it's the same for many people. It's not easy for issuers of documents to get their data in the right structure to get into one of those master lists, nor is it easy for verifiers to use this data without specialist knowledge. Now, in ICAO, we've been issuing data like master lists for 2 decades. So the typical people dealing with passports, for example, have more capacity to use these master lists right now. But throw back to the COVID-19 pandemic, and we had medical authorities immediately needed to handle data like these master lists to ensure verification of vaccination certificates and test certificates to cross borders. And the question we needed to tackle in ICAO was, could we innovate and help authorities like the medical authorities in this time of need? So if we move to the next slide, you'll see the 2-part innovation solution that we developed. The first part was the ICAO Health Master Lists. It's an innovative service developed in collaboration with INSERT state agency in Luxembourg, and it leverages a software as a service approach to allow ICAO and INSERT through common capabilities to deliver a master list for health. So we gathered the data in a trusted way based on our interactions with states and state authorities. And using a unique software approach developed by INSERT, we could create and share this new master list for health documents all around the world. The second part of the solution, the ML Explorer tool, developed in cooperation with the Ministry of Justice in the Netherlands. It's a first of its kind graphical tool to read and use master lists. So no more handling of these complex data structures that you saw on the previous slide, no more bits and bytes, but intuitive graphical reading and use of these master lists. Both solutions developed during the COVID-19 pandemic, but still in use today and relevant for supporting all of the states also to verify passports and other documents, because we don't want to leave no country behind in all of our efforts. And importantly, both solutions free of charge then and continuing to be free of charge today. So on my final slide, a call to action. If you're involved in issuing or using any of these travel documents or health documents, do get in touch. But even if you're not, take note of the lessons learned. For me, I think an important lesson, partnership is key. Leverage and develop your partnership and cooperation so that entities can leverage complementary skills to deliver new and useful services. I think in the United Nations, we're privileged to be able to develop solutions that can really have impact internationally. So my call to you, through partnerships and in every other way, let's continue to innovate. Thank you.
Thank you, Kieran. Fantastic. And Patricia, we will come to you now in our first segment as we still locate our other colleague. Yes, thank you for skipping ahead. So Patricia, I didn't introduce at the beginning. She is Patricia Chokwe, Head of Solutions Mapping at the Accelerator Lab at UNDP in Bolivia, and she will be presenting to us CoLab for Women. So Patricia, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Next slide, please. Why is real gender equality so hard to achieve? Meet Marcia. She's a Bolivian woman like me. In Bolivia, gender equality laws are in place, political parity is a fact, and there are many institutions working toward equality. But the reality, inequality remains high. Marcia ran a small business in commerce in the informal area, and her story reflects the broader reality faced by millions of people in Bolivia, but women are the most affected. 9 out of 10 women work in the informal sector without social protection. 7 out of 10 women experience gender-based violence at some point in their lives. And even with higher education, many women still face barriers. Only 1 in 10 executives in large companies is a woman. Why, despite progress in key areas like laws and institutional efforts, are we still falling short? Perhaps many of us already have part of the answers, but somehow as a society, we're still missing the full picture. Next slide, please. That's why we created the Collaborative for Women's Empowerment, the COLAF, a collaborative and innovative space led by UNDP Bolivia together with UN Women and key ecosystem institutions. The COLAF is a space for change. We used a simple yet powerful model grounded in system thinking. First, we mapped the gender gaps, uncovering over 30 inequalities in areas like economic participation, decision-making, and physical autonomy. We transformed these insights into a public and interactive platform that simplifies complex data for quick understanding. The usual reaction: I had no idea this was a reality. Second, we mapped the responses. A national call surfaced more than 130 existing equality initiatives, far more than expected. But the analysis revealed a crucial challenge. Only 1% address structural barriers. This finding pointed to a clear message. We need a strategic shift, and with that, a real opportunity. We identified 4 high-leverage areas with the greatest potential for systemic impact: care system, digital and financial inclusion, and women's leadership. Next slide, please. We are currently working on financial inclusion and caregiving, and together with Women with Marcia and key stakeholders in the financial sector, we are co-creating practical solutions. For example, detecting structural biases in systems and policies, not only within financial institutions internally, but also in the service they provide. So 3 prototypes will be ready to scale nationally. Next slide, please. We call on institutions to invest in systemic solutions, not just because it's fair, but because gender equality is the engine of lasting prosperity. Now is the time to scale this model, to drive meaningful change, and turn gender equality into a lived reality for all. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Patricia, for this fantastic pitch. And we're going to pause now for a moment to hear from you in the audience. So yeah, give us a reaction, maybe a thumbs up if you've learned about a new solution so far. I would love to seeing lots of thumbs, some hearts coming in. Thank you, everyone. Sounds like lots of these initiatives are new to many people. That's great to hear. One of the purposes of UN 2.0 Week is to foster collaboration, connection, new insights in the UN system as we try to, pave the way for UN 2.0 together. So we'd love to hear from you also in the chat, a more of a reflective question. Now you've heard some sparks of inspiration around possible solutions, things that colleagues are working on. What's the biggest opportunity you see for the UN system to innovate today? Would love to hear if you want to come into the chat. I know it's a big question, but maybe something's top of your mind. Maybe I'm seeing education coming in. I'm seeing supporting natural leadership rather than roles for more efficient and responsive action. Thank you for sharing that post as well. Partnership with UN agencies. I'm seeing climate action, climate change and gender equality, connecting with local NGOs, access to work, immigrant rights, care systems, mentoring and supporting gender equality. Lots coming through on that. Patricia, you're right on track with your solution and many of the others that will be featured as well. Youth readiness, centralizing health data, youth engagement, pooled funding, collaboration and awareness. Thanks so much, everyone. There's a lot coming through here. Keep the ideas flowing. Maybe there's someone you want to respond to. Maybe it fosters also a spark, a collaboration. That's what it's all about. Sustainable communities. Yes. Thank you for sharing, everyone. And we'll just now come to see if there's any questions for our first set of speakers. We have been very efficient, thankfully, thanks to those of you who've been answering already in the Q&A. We've answered 5 and we have 3 open. One is already being answered by Peter, so I'll allow that one to go to the side. We have a question around a young person passionately committed to medicine. How can aspiring change makers such as themselves participate in global health innovation platforms? What platforms are available? And also with a question around UNICEF, Toolbox and FunDoo skills coach. How is feedback from young users directly integrated into iterative design? Umaima, I don't know if you want to take the second one, just a word very quickly before we go to our next session, next segment, if something comes to mind on that question.
Yes, absolutely. So FunDoo is being used in 17 countries so far, and it's also in the making and scaling up in another 15 countries this year. The way that we're working is we're not scaling FunDoo without hearing from young people first what are their needs. So there is an exercise of contextualization to make sure that this is the relevant solution for them in their context, in their communities. But I agree. I think the question is amazing because it is an iterative process. We're not just doing this in the beginning and then letting the FunDoo roll. But what we're saying is that the opinion of young people is constantly taken into account in every iteration and amelioration of FunDoo. As you can see, it has many modules. We started with the skilling, the interview readiness, how to get your CV, how to get ready for work. And we added immunization because young people do want to understand what's vaccines and how HPV vaccine works, for example, and other aspects such as mental health, climate awareness. But what's really specific is we help them to find critical actions in the real world, concrete, that they can take. And so they feel empowered. It's not just a digital solution. And that's how we integrate their feedback. They want things that they can use in the real world. And I think that was the most amazing thing that allowed us to reach 1.7 million users. Thank you.
Thank you, Maima. Fantastic. And I think on the health platforms, perhaps Peter, if you have something, otherwise I would suggest we answer it in the text and we move into the next. Yeah,
I
please.
think we have to come back to that one. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you, everyone. That concludes our first part. A big round of applause, virtual round of applause to our first four speakers. And thank you for being nimble as we located our other speaker. So I'm now going to introduce the next four we have in store for you. So we have here Rue Savard, who is founder and CEO at the Welcome account and president of Singa. He will be presenting on the Welcome account, and it is something that has been through the UNHCR Innovation Fund as well. So welcome to Rue. We will have Monica Bernard, who is a product manager with WFP in Rome, who will be sharing with us about building blocks. And we have Shalini Subia, who's a monitoring and evaluation specialist at the UNICEF Office of Innovation, who will be sharing with us about the MEL, Monitoring, Evaluation, Learning Toolbox that they developed over at UNICEF. And we will have Rahma, who I earlier introduced. So Rue, I will pass to you. And there is a bit of a thread around financial inclusion that comes and economic empowerment from Patricia through to Rue and over also to Monica, who will come afterwards. So Rue, please, over to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Rue Savard. I'm a co-founder and CEO of a Welcome account. I'm myself a political refugee from Iran, but based in France. Next slide, please. I think there is one slide that's missing, the problem slide. Yeah, so as you know, we have a lot of people that are displaced in the world. There was more than 100 million people, and especially in Europe, we have already more than 90 million immigrants that are living in Europe. But all of these people are struggling to access to a bank account, especially when you arrive to settle in, and even once you have, after several months, sometimes years, that you can have this access, you struggle with your bank account, and you are excluded for the from the financial and economic ecosystem. Next slide, please. So the solution, we created a new bank, a fintech. We are offering a card, a local IBAN, and all this is available in a mobile app. But how people can access to this solution through a SaaS, a dashboard from their sponsors. For instance, we are working with La France Terre d'Asile in France and the Red Cross, they have the dashboard. They can say Roussawar is my beneficiary or my immigrant employee, and here is his information. We receive the information. We open the account for the person. Next slide, please. Last but not least, we have a personal GenAI agent, multilingual, that can communicate with the user with more than 90 languages available. It's like that you have a ChatGPT, but fine-tuned, but by the need of newcomers and immigrants that can help the user with some recommendation, budget management, and even help them to administrative problem, which is a huge needs of newcomers and refugees. Thank you very much. Don't hesitate to reach us. I put my email in the chat.
Thank you, Roo. Fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of positive reactions coming through here. So thank you for sharing this. And I'm happy to now pass it to Monica over at WFP, who will be pitching on building blocks. Monica, over to you.
Thanks so much. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Next slide, please. 3 teddies in just 1 week. This is what my son got from grandma number 1, grandma number 2, and auntie. As a new mom, I have quickly learned that too much love can turn into too much stuff. Of course, this is a sweet example, an innocent case of overstocking. But now, imagine that this is happening in the middle of humanitarian crisis. There too, organizations rush into help, motivated by compassion and urgency. But the result? Some families receive food 3 times. Others are left behind. And unlike teddy bears, we are talking about life-saving resources. Food, shelter, medicine. Next slide, please. So why is coordinating humanitarian aid so difficult? 3 big reasons. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Since UN was founded, the number of organizations has really increased. In Ukraine alone, we have over 600 groups in action, according to OCHA, supporting often the same people. Great for help, tricky for coordination, and definitely a recipe for duplicate efforts. Every organization has its own goals, reports, and donors to satisfy. Collaborations sounds great, but keeping their own operations running usually comes first. It used to be a clear cut. WFP handled food, UNICEF helped children, and so on. Now, especially with cash assistance on the rise, many organizations do a similar type of work. The result? Duplication, inefficiency, and gaps. Some get too much, others are left behind. Next slide, please. Sounds messy, right? But here's the good news. There is a solution, and it's already working at scale. It's called Building Blocks, a shared coordination platform. Building Blocks lets humanitarian organizations coordinate in real time, across services, categories, across borders, and across mandates. Now, let's talk impact. In Ukraine alone, 70 organizations use Building Block to coordinate aid across food, cash, and winter assistance. The result? $230 million in duplicate aid were avoided, allowing those funds to be redistributed to help more people. That's not just money saved. It's more lives reached and more people treated with care and respect they deserve. All of this is making Building Blocks a first large-scale solution for aid coordination. We may not be able to stop grandparents from buying extra teddy bears, but in a world of humanitarian aid, we need to do better. And in fact, we must. In time of growing needs and shrinking budgets, we need to be smart, disciplined, and united. As Building Blocks grows, we need your voice, your leadership, your support. Let's break the silos, let's bring more partners in, and let's unlock the full potential of truly coordinated aid. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. I heard some words we've seen in the chat earlier about the biggest game changers as well around effective coordination and bringing infrastructure together. So thank you for this and for this inspiration. I'm happy to now take it to Shalini over at UNICEF, who will be presenting to us on the Innovation MEL Toolbox. Over to you, Shalini.
Thanks, Ruth. Hi, everyone. My name is Shalini Sabaya. I'm an MEL specialist at the Office of Innovation, and I'm here to present to you the Innovation Monitoring Evaluation Toolbox. At UNICEF, innovation is transforming how we deliver results for our children, from digital learning platforms reaching remote communities to drone delivery saving lives with vaccines. But there's a problem. We often don't have the right information to understand if our innovations are working. Traditional programmatic monitoring and evaluation takes too long. Innovation moves fast with rapid iterations, constant pivots, and real-time user feedback. We can't wait months for evaluation results when we need to course correct today. Standard M&E tools weren't built for the uncertainties and nonlinear pathways that define breakthrough innovation work. And without the right measurement approach, even our best innovations risk failing to reach the children who need them most. Next slide, please. So in order to address this gap, UNICEF Innovation has developed the Innovation Monitoring, Evaluation, and Learning Toolbox, which is a compendium of M&E tools that are purpose-built and adapted for innovation's unique demands. This toolbox serves a dual purpose captured in the phrase prove and improve. The prove aspect focuses on demonstrating impact and effectiveness, showing stakeholders, donors, and decision makers that innovative approaches are working and delivering results. Then the improve function emphasizes continuous learning and adaptation. Innovation projects often involve testing new approaches, piloting untested solutions, or working in uncertain environments where outcomes can't be fully predicted. So the MEL Toolbox provides methodologies to help teams learn from both successes and failures, iterate on their approaches, and make real-time adjustments to improve effectiveness. Next slide, please. So what does this mean in practice? Meet Sarah. She's an innovation manager at UNICEF. Sarah has designed a prototype of a mobile health app to connect moms and healthcare workers in low-income settings. And now Sarah wants to use the MEL Toolbox to effectively plan for the development and scaling of the solution. So maybe she's in the pilot phase, right? And she needs to make sure that the solution works in the real world. So what does she do? She uses the feasibility assessment checklist from the MEL Toolbox to track the solution's integration into health facilities, the costs associated with it, and the impact on user behavior. And then she also uses process evaluation guidelines to assess the implementation of the solution. She's gotten all the information she needs. She decides to move it to accelerate phase, where she needs to make sure that the solution works in different places and situations. What does she do? She uses the fidelity and adaptation monitoring tool from the MEL Toolbox to ensure that the solution can be changed for new contexts, but is still working effectively. She also decides to do an impact evaluation to prove that the app is actually causing the positive results that she's seeing. And because she sees the positive results, she then decides to scale the solution. She's also able to use other methodologies in the toolbox. So as you can see in the MEL Toolbox, we have measurement tools for every stage of the innovation process from idea to scale. And our goal is to help innovators across the UN, across the development sector, to build real scaling pathways to take innovations to scale. Next slide, please. So if you're ready to get started with using the MEL Toolbox for innovation in your organization, please reach out to us at innovationinsights@unicef.org. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Shalini, for this. Lots of exciting work going on there. And I would now like to warmly welcome Rahma. Désolé, sorry, Rahma, that you were stuck in somewhere in outer space or between spaces. But now you're here with us in Zoom, and we have you, and we have your slides. Apologies for that. Thank you for the patience, everyone. We did introduce Rahma at the beginning, but I will just say again, Rahma Bejaoui. She's with UNFPA in Tunisia. She's a program officer with the Gender-Based Violence Unit, and she will be presenting to us Netopoly. Over to you, Rahma.
Thank you very much, Ruth. So I'm very pleased pleased to be with you today. I'm Rahma Bjewi from Tunisia, from the UNFPA. So it's the United Nations Agency for Sexual and Reproductive Health. It gives support on many areas. So many projects are implemented by the UNFPA in Tunisia and as a crucial initiative focused on empowering women and girls and addressing gender-based violence. And today I'm going to present an innovative online awareness raising board game, and it's called Netopoly. So for the second slide. Today, as you know, we face a silent epidemic affecting millions, especially young people, in the very spaces they connect and learn online. We're talking about technology facilitated gender-based violence, or TFGBV. This isn't just cyberbullying, it's a pervasive and insidious form of abuse from online harassment and non-consensual sharing of intimate images to digital stalking and coercion. It leaves deep emotional scars, stifles participation, and undermines safety in our increasingly digital world. The urgency to equip individuals, particularly young people, with the knowledge to identify, prevent, and respond to this violence has never been greater. It's a critical challenge that demands innovative solution. So how the idea of developing this onboard game comes to our mind. So that's why we developed the Netopoly. It's an innovative online awareness raising board game, as I say. It's a reimagining of the classic Monopoly. But in our game, you won't buy Park Palace or Boardwalk. Instead, the real estate is replaced by social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and other popular video games. And the very online spaces where TFGBV frequently occurs. So through an interactive gameplay, Netopoly immerses players in realistic scenarios. They encounter situations where TFGBV takes place, and crucially, they learn about effective responses. Netopoly is accessible in 3 languages and specially tailored for Tunisian context, connecting players directly to local institutions where survivors can find help. So this localized approach built through a rigorous development process, including online consultations with our target group, ensures its relevance and impact. We are proud to partner with Associamed and the Young Club organization, and we received funding through the French Institute of Tunisia's Innovation Fund, demonstrating the robust support behind this initiative. So our call to action, and finally, while we're building our comprehensive impact data, the potential of Netopoly is to empower users and significantly raise awareness about TFGBV. So imagine a generation empowered to navigate the digital world safely, equipped with knowledge to protect themselves and others. So in the end of this slide, I think there is an you can visit us online at www.netopoly.cntc.tn, and you can also watch our promotional video. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rahma. Fantastic to have this in the mix. Thank you for sharing. And that concludes, we've now heard from all of our speakers. Thank you to everyone. We have been able to keep to time for those little clocks ticking in the right-hand side of the screen. That means we have a moment also to engage more with the audience, with the questions that have been coming through. But I do want to ask you, those of you who are tuning in, who are listening, can you give me a thumbs up or another emoji if you've learned something new in this second segment? Was there a project you hadn't heard of before that you now have learned about? Okay, fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs coming through. So lots of people learning about something new, something hopefully that's inspiring them or bringing them a new perspective. Fantastic. Okay, so I will move to the questions that we have been seeing in the chat. So there's a question for you, Roo, welcome account. So usually the most critical step for accessing financial services is the KYC or identity verification that involves ID documentations. Was there any special challenge in fulfilling this step for displaced people? And the colleague answering, sorry, it's from Arya Nutfikri, I see the name, saying, I imagine missing documents can be common for people in hardships. And if that was the case, how did Welcome Account tackle this? That's a question for you, Roo. Are you there?
Oh, tell me about it. Actually,
sounds like a familiar challenge.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, yeah, this problem exists, but at the same time, the solution are existing as well. Um, Especially in Europe, we have a right of having a bank account, so it's protected by the law. So as soon as we can identify the identity of a person, we can open a bank account or checking account for the person. How we tackle this problem in two stages. The first one, the sponsorship onboarding, the B2B2C. That means the fact that, for instance, the Red Cross or La France Terre d'Asile present a person. This is a one step of the identity verification. So if there is other paper are already missing, this sponsorship can help to go further. If the person doesn't have any document, it's quite difficult. But if they have, for instance, their local identity paper ID, with this sponsorship, we can manage this part. The second solution is that we put it in place a step-by-step KYC. That means at the beginning, we give a limited features to the person, but we don't refuse. So they can, for instance, spend some money, receive some monies, but their financial operation will be limited. But through the time, we check the identity and we open the other features and solution to the users. So the first time by sponsorship, we facilitate the KYC, and by the step-by-step KYC also, we can open the solution to the people that don't have all requirements.
Thank you so much, Roo, for that very helpful and specific answer. I'm sure the colleague will be grateful for that, and that there will be.
And I saw a message that if we are working with the World Bank AI Impact, no, if you know them, so please connect us.
Okay, that's a call for collaboration. Any leads, please share in the chat or get in touch with Roo directly. So Rahma, we have a couple of questions for you as well about Netopoly. So definitely some interest and excitement about the concept, about the name, about the idea. So from Sarah, she's asking, how do we download it? Is it possible to download it? That's a question. We have a question from Muada around how can she get involved in programs like this in Tunisia. And also a question from Ushan, how did you get inspiration for this game? If you want to take all of those together, that would be wonderful.
Okay, thank you. So to download this game, it's very simple. First of all, we can play online. So it's not it's an online broad game. It's not a logiciel. So this is the first thing so we can not download it. First of all, second, you should have we should have two players to try it. So you can go onto the link on the third slide, and this link will take you to a platform online, and you can play there. So for the third question, it's about how we develop it. So we're working on an EMNA project. It's a project that gives answers to elimination of violence against women and girls, and it comes as a response for the law 58 of 2017, and this landmark legislation that provides a comprehensive framework to address various forms of violence, like including physical, emotional, sexual, economic violence, And nowadays, we're talking about technology-facilitated gender-based violence. So this is an issue that that is very we heard a lot about it this nowadays. So this is this is why we think collectively with the CSO. Even with ministries, with institutional and the strategic stakeholders, and we think about working on something that is near to youth. This is our CIP. And then we think about developing something that is similar to Monopoly. We all know Monopoly. We all played Monopoly, so it's a little bit inspiration from the Monopoly game, and we develop it easily online to provide help and to facilitate or to make it easy for young people how to act when they face gender technology facilitated by online. So this is why, and this is how we think about this game. And we cannot download it, unfortunately. It's online game, so we can play it online.
Thanks so much, Rama. Thank you for those clarifications, and yeah, fantastic. So I know there were many questions that also already were answered efficiently by text, but I just wanted to offer the opportunity for any of the speakers, pitchers who saw a question come up at the time, which they already answered, if there was a certain theme or something they want to elaborate on, something that would benefit from explaining slightly with a voice, please, from any of the presentations, so not just from the last 4, but from the whole group. Now would be the moment before we move into the wrap up part of this session. So I will just open the floor.
I would like to just address the question about hallucination in our system, the toolkit. So that is an issue always when you use AI. But what we're doing, we are making very short text, which reduces the chance of hallucination. And also we have always guardrails of human experts who are testing all the results that come out before they are implemented. So I think it's a very good question. We have to look out. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Others who wanted to elaborate on something, please. Okay, I think we're all clear. We've handled all the questions. We've answered in text, we've answered in voice. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for all of the questions you have asked. Thank you to our wonderful speakers for all of your pitches. Fantastically prepared, well delivered. You've brought some inspiration to colleagues elsewhere. We do have a few wrap-up things to mention. I'm also seeing lots of questions in the chat about whether it's possible to have recorded videos. Yes, absolutely, those will be available, and we will be posting them. So if you are not yet in any of these communities of practice, this is the moment to sign up. You'll see the QR code, and I think my colleagues will be sharing also a link in the chat. We have a community of practice for each of the Quinta areas, each of those areas that we'll also be delving into for UN 2.0 week. So for innovation, we have UNIN, the UN Innovation Network, which is where I'm speaking from. Gratefully co-supported by WFP, UNICEF and UNDP, and available to colleagues across the system. We have subgroups within that community that you can join. We have a team space. We have many different pieces within that. We have a behavioral science community as well. UNBSci, there's a UNBSci week every year, which brings together amazing speakers as well. Mary is on the line if she wants to say a word. But otherwise, we also have our data community, our digital community, our strategic foresight community, and our culture community through the New Work culture. So this is the space to join them. Please do. This is where we continue the conversation after this week, after today. And I'd love to show you what we have up in store for the rest of 2.0 week. So if we go to the next slide tomorrow is B-Side Day. Today was Innovation Day. Tomorrow we'll also have a high-level panel putting a spotlight on behavioral science. We'll have a Solutions Expo, much like today, come to get some interesting solutions, get familiar with new possibilities from colleagues in the UN system and beyond. We'll have 6 side events happening tomorrow as well. On Wednesday, we have our Data and Digital Day. We have a high-level panel, a Solutions Expo, and 16 side events. So they win the prize for the most side events. Digital and data is where it's at this week. On Thursday, we have Strategic Foresight. We have the panel, the expo, 8 side events. Friday wraps us up with culture. There will be an exciting announcement to look forward to. So do join on Friday. We know it's the last day of the week. It can be hard to keep the momentum up, but that's what's coming up this week. Thank you everyone for joining for this first of the expos. This concludes our UN 2.0 opening day. This is the sign up for all of the sessions. Scan that QR code. It will also be shared in the chat. There's plenty more coming soon. And just to say thank you for joining. Thank you to our panelists. We're very happy to give you back 5 minutes of your day. And look forward to seeing you in the sessions tomorrow. Thank you for everyone who has prepared behind the scenes for this to be happening today as well, and for everybody engaging in the chat and elsewhere and all of the active questions. Thank you and goodbye. See you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.